Welcome to another episode of Valuing Stocks. Today I want to talk about why investing in stocks is the ultimate side hustle. I often tell people this, and it takes a bit of time to explain why this is the case, and I am convinced through all my experiences and all of my side hustles, I'm convinced that investing in stocks, and I'll add at the very end of this presentation, investing in stocks with options, using options, is really the ultimate side hustle. So let's get started. First thing I want to do is compare investing in stocks to other side hustles on these three dimensions. The time needed, your time that's required, what you have to put into it to actually generate some money from your side hustle. Startup capital needed, meaning how much money do you actually have to put up or pony up to actually generate some money from your side hustle. And third, risk of loss. How risky is a particular side hustle, especially in comparison with other side hustles and the ability to diversify. So let's take a look at a common side hustle. Starting a business, whether you're starting a small business or a big business. On the time dimension, I have tried this before, and I have been involved with several different businesses, and let me tell you, that time requirement is very high, right? You're going to have to put in a lot of hours of preparation, planning, even just legally setting up your entity, coming up with a plan, a business plan, doing market research, all of that, very high. The capital needed, usually typically high, right? And you got to spend a lot of dollars on marketing. You got to spend a lot of dollars actually setting up your business. If it's a product-based business, a lot of times on inventory, right? And third, on the third dimension of risk, there's no diversification, right? You can read my scribbles, can't you? I hope you can. But there's no diversification. It's your business, that's it. If the industry or whatever you choose to create a business in stinks, you're pretty much out of luck. Freelancing, again, what you're basically doing is trading time for dollars, right? That's what freelancing is. So by definition, it requires a lot of your time to do freelancing, and it's basically a job. It's not any sort of element of passive income in there. From a capital standpoint, I'll grant you it may not take, it may be low startup capital needs, may not take a lot of capital to start this up. But you may have to spend a lot on marketing or getting yourself out there. Risk, right? I think it's less risky than starting a business just because you have low capital, but it is still, you're dependent on the industry, depending on the, but yeah, I'd say it's not too high of a risk there. Flipping goods. This one, it's actually quite a bit of time commitment when I've done this in the past. I mean, you've got to source the goods, you've got to take shipment of the goods and ship the goods, right? You've got to market the goods. So there is actually quite a bit of time requirement. As far as capital outlay to get this started, you've got, your initial inventory or what you're going to sell. You're going to have some capital. But if you don't do a whole lot of flipping, you're flipping phones or Xboxes or whatever, maybe you don't need that much capital. And then the risk, I mean, if you could get stuck with the inventory if you aren't buying the right type of goods. Amazon FBA. So this one as well, there is some time commitment to source the goods, again, similar to flipping, right? To list, customer service. So it's not passive by any means, right? And then you've also got, like, as far as capital, this one even more so than flipping, because this is kind of a bigger operation. You need a lot of capital up front for inventory. You're probably going to have to buy like 10K worth of goods to even get some sort of good price. And then the risk is like, look, if you buy a stinker of a product that nobody likes, then you're stuck with the inventory. So there is quite a bit of risk in that, product market fit, whether you can get that. Now, real estate flipping or renting, well, time, it does take a long. I actually we recently were looking for a new home, and it takes a lot of time to find a good bargain, right? And it takes a lot of effort and energy looking at listings, going to see houses. It's not an easy thing, and so as a real estate investor, you're going to be spending a lot of time sourcing your real estate deals. As far as capital, this is probably one of the highest, very high requirements. You're going to need quite a bit of capital to put down on a home or duplex or a fourplex. And then as far as your risk, right? You may only have enough money for one property, and you're not very diversified there. So, investing in stocks, why do I like it? Well, from a time perspective, your time mainly is going to be spent researching companies, right? And for those of you who are naturally curious about how the world works or how different businesses work, you may already be just following the news, following different industries. So you may already be doing this in your spare time anyway. And so why not leverage what you're doing to make some extra money, right? You may enjoy actually reading up on, Netflix or Facebook, understanding how they make money, understanding what's going on at the business, understanding what initiatives they've got going to grow the business, reading the annual reports, or listening to the quarterly conference calls, things like that. It actually, a lot of times it's quite interesting. Some companies make it more interesting than others, like Tesla. Always, Elon Musk is interesting to follow. There are companies out there that are more interesting than others. But what you can do when you invest is you have this huge circle of companies, right, to choose from, thousands of companies, and you can focus on a certain subset that you are passionate about, or maybe a couple of groups that you're passionate about and that you know something about, and I'll get into that in other videos. As far as capital outlay, is I will show you, and I hope you subscribe to this video because I will be showing you fairly soon. You can start with as little as $500. I tell people that. I teach people who attend my various investing workshops that with equity options, using options to invest, which kind of seems like a counterintuitive thing because everyone thinks options are super risky. But using options in a responsible, risk adverse way where you are managing risk, you can start with just $500 and start making money right off the bat. With all those other businesses, it takes you a long time to get to the point where you actually make some money. With stocks and using options, you can actually start making money from day one, almost immediately. And then from a risk standpoint, when you're investing in stocks, like I said earlier, you can choose from, from a huge pool of many different companies, right? I usually tell people probably don't invest in more than 20, but invest in more than 5, right? And just that diversification, if you invest in 5 different companies in 5 different industries, then you're going to be diversified from a lot of different risks. And if you can buy these companies cheaply and you've given yourself a margin of safety before making the investment, then you can decrease your risk even further. So I hope that this has just kind of helped you understand why investing in stocks. And like I said, the secret sauce is using options. If you don't know what an option is, I will teach you in future videos. So please subscribe below. And I really do think that this is something for stay-at-home moms, students who don't want to go out and get another job, but do want to make some extra side money. This is a good way, the best way that I know that you can do it on the dimensions of time, the amount of money it takes to start, and from a risk perspective. Anyway, please subscribe and please share your comments below. If you disagree with me, I'd be happy to hear about it. I am searching, always in search of new ideas, and maybe there's an even better side hustle out there. But for now, I'm convinced that investing in stocks is the ultimate side hustle.